Three, two, one. Hey, everybody, this is Victor. I am here with Spencer. We're going to be talking about his journey in real estate and real estate flipping. We're going to be talking about how Spencer went from beginner to making 12 offers in 1 week. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Well, I'm glad I could chat with you. I'm glad that I can work with you. You've made a ton of progress. It's been like a month or two that we've been working together, not even that. And I just want to share that with everybody and like just share your journey so far because you've done quite a bit, to say the least. That in mind, let's start with this. Where are you based out of?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, Memphis, Tennessee. And what's your background?
I'm full-time HVAC. So
Mhm.
I've been out of high school for 4 years now.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I remember that. What I really liked about you, like you were really young and a go-getter. I think you're what, 22, 23?
23.
Okay, awesome. Dude, that's perfect. Getting started early. I remember
Yes,
when
sir.
we first started talking, we were saying like, even in your mid 30s, you might even be retired, if you hit the right path, hit the goals. Well, perfect. And before we met, like what were some of the struggles you had with real estate or with getting started in flipping?
Uh, the big thing was funding a deal, but not out of my own pocket. So getting funds for a deal, definitely.
Hmm. Gotcha. So like the funding of the deal. And I know when we met, like you initially had a deal. If you're comfortable talking about that, I'd love to like dive a little bit deeper and kind of talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So like how did you find that deal? Let's start with
It
that.
was my father's friend's parents, is the house he grew up in, and when they
Hmm.
died, they sold us the house. So
Hmm.
I paid 10,000 for the house, and I plan on putting 25K into it.
Okay.
So I'm in the process of getting the 30K funded right now, and hopefully to sell for 90. I
I think
know,
that's what we're talking about. Yeah, like 90, 95, depends on what you do with it for sure.
right.
Yeah.
Which when I
Okay.
did my ARV, it was a lot lower than what you got. I think I was getting 75 when I brought it to you.
Hmm.
I think you came around 95. I'm not
That's right.
sure.
Yeah. I remember when we met, like one of the things I taught you was like how to run comps and how to run ARV. And I think how you were running it was a little more conservative, or maybe you were basing it off of Zillow numbers, which is fine. But like in today's market, you can get a little more aggressive and still get those good prices.
Right.
Hmm. So you bought at 10, you're going to put in 25 or so, sell for 90. So that's a really good deal. I mean, that's fantastic.
Right. Definitely a good one for the first.
Yeah, you can't be mad at those numbers for sure. I think there's a lot of potential there. And then for the work, like, what are you thinking of doing yourself? Are you going to try to do the work yourself? Are you going to try to hire it out? Or can you tell me a little more about the renovations?
I'm gonna do some of it myself. Obviously, the heating and air I'm gonna do myself. I'm gonna contract out the roof
Hmm.
and maybe the bathrooms. I'm not sure yet. Just depends. I'm probably gonna save those for last.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna do the kitchen myself, and just two bedrooms need flooring, so I'm gonna do that myself.
Hmm.
And the interior paint I'll probably do myself, but I don't know about the outside yet. I may contract that out.
Hmm. And I know you're still working full time and you're like taking on side jobs as well. Like, how are you able to fit this all into your schedule?
It's hard. I get off at 4, and now it's really hard because it gets dark. An hour after I get off work. So
Hmm.
just a lot of weekend work, really,
Hmm.
and late afternoons.
Hmm. But yeah, from us working together, like you're still making progress, like you're still taking the steps in the right direction. So you're on the right track to get this done here pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm. So you got this deal. So full disclosure, like you had this deal before we met. I think I helped a little bit with like what are ARV, how to get it funded, and that sort of thing. Like what specific repairs to be done. But you had a good basis there. I'd love to hear more about your making offers because you made a ton of offers. You made like 12 offers in a week when we got started. But I'd love to hear about that process. Like how did that go? Did you get close to any? And I'd just love to hear about your experience there.
Yeah, I got close to about 3 of them, but I just couldn't get the homeowners down to the price I wanted to pay for them. So
Mhm.
it was always around 2 to 5 grand that I was just. I know it's kind of like crazy that you would lose a deal over that, but now that I look back, I'm glad I didn't buy them.
Yeah, I think you made the right decision there with just waiting on those, especially because I know we discussed like let's get this first one done and then we can focus on some other ones. So I'm sure once you get back into it, like you're going to be finding more and more flips and more deals here.
Right. And initially, I wanted to rent that house, but you actually talked me into going ahead and flipping it, and then I would have the money to back another deal. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's a good idea to do. So I'm glad you talked me into that.
Well, no, I'm happy to help, and I appreciate there. Basically, like the logic, just so for everyone watching would know. So it's like do a flip, do a rental, do a flip, do a rental, and that way you can keep going. But if you
Right.
do rental first, like you're out of pocket all that money, and it's like okay, now what? What do I do now?
Yeah.
So in your case, if I'm not mistaken, like you also want to flip houses, but you also want to own rentals in the future. Do I remember that right?
I did at first, but now that I'm looking at it, I may, I kind of want to flip 5 houses before I buy any rentals.
Okay.
So, and really just depending on the market and how it goes over the next few years, then, if the market falls, then yeah, I'm definitely going to start buying and renting.
Hmm. I think that's smart because you can do both strategies. You don't have to do flips. But if you do those 5 flips on top of this one, I mean, you're going to be sitting on quite a bit of cash. So you can go out there and do some more creative stuff, go do those rentals and be, in a really good position.
Right.
As a part of your journey, like, have you learned anything else or is there anything that else stands in your mind, like trying to get started or any other hurdles, anything like that?
Yeah, finding ARVs, I didn't really know how to do that with the comps and the way you do it, and getting funded,
Mm.
um, estimating repair costs. I knew some of it, but the way you break it down it just made it a lot simpler for me.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, well, that in mind, I mean, would you recommend others work with me as well?
Definitely, yes.
Okay, perfect. And then why, I appreciate it, by the way. I'm really excited for like where you are now, but for where you are going to be. Like you just got to keep on taking consistent action. I know it's a bit impatient, like it sometimes feels slow, like, oh, it's been a month or it's been a week and nothing's happened. That's how it feels like in the moment. But if you look back in a year, you'd be like, oh, damn, I did, 3 flips this year. I did this and I did this. So it's always
Yeah.
surprising that way. With that in mind, like why should someone listening take action now?
Well, if you're like me, I bought that house to rent, and I've had it for 2 years now and just haven't done anything with it. And so, I mean, you really motivated me to just go ahead and get going on it. And now I can actually see it, in my head that, the outcome of it. So
Mhm.
it'll definitely be worth it.
Oh, for sure. It'll be worth it for the check. But I'm also curious, like how nice it'll turn out. I was looking at pictures, and it's an all right house. Not nothing to write home about. But I think once you're done with it, I think you'll do a really good job, and it's going to look really nice.
Right. And I wish I could do more to it, but in the part of town it's in and the ARV, and I can only do so much, but I think it'll turn out really nice for what I can put into it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I guess I didn't ask. Like, what are you thinking to put into it? Like, I know we talked about roughly renovations, but what specifically is your like end vision there?
What do you mean, like price wise, or?
Oh, so like price, but like what type of flooring you're going to put in, like what kind of kitchen, or have you thought about like some of the specifics there?
Not really. I'm just going to try to really budget it.
Okay.
The roof and the HVAC is going to take a big toll of the repair costs, and so I'm just going to get them two done first before I start, really getting gritty with what I'm actually going to do to them. But right now, I'm just kind of going, the cheaper route with a lot of it. But we'll see. I'm going to go. It's already got hardwood, old hardwooding, and the 2 bedrooms that need flooring, they had carpet in them. I think I'm going to go back with hardwood in those. But it's going to be kind of hard to, because I'm going to have 2 bedrooms with completely different hardwood than the
Mm.
rest, and I don't know. We'll see.
I think that's a good way to look at it, especially the budget route, just because like it's going to sell for let's say 90,000 roughly. So it doesn't make sense to do granite countertops. Doesn't make sense to go all out. Just get it nice, get it livable. Make it look nice. But it's not going to be high end $1 million house for sure.
Right.
Well,
Which I
perfect.
wish it would.
Would you ever live there, by the way? Like, would you ever?
Not
Yeah.
in the area, no.
Okay.
But if it was in a decent part of town, definitely. It
Okay.
would be a house I'm actually, because I need a house right now. I live in an apartment, so I'm out also looking for that. So
Gotcha.
I wish it was in a better part of town.
It would be a great place because you would never have to pay rent again, or like,
Yeah,
30 grand in cash and you're set. But I
right.
totally get it. It's like a 90 grand neighborhood because it's a bigger house for sure.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest houses in the neighborhood, so I
Hmm.
got lucky on that one.
Hmm. Perfect. Well, that sounds good. Again, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Hopefully, it's been helpful for everyone listening as well, just to get a sense of your journey. And I'd love to keep in touch, obviously, as you progress. I'd love to do another one of these in the future if you're open to it. But any final thoughts? Anything else on your mind with regards to flipping or anything?
Not really, no. I'm kind of in a spot right now where I'm just stopped everything and I'm just working on this one deal. So I'm just focused on that.
I think that's smart. Yeah, I made the mistake. You focus on too much at once and like nothing gets done. So
Yeah, I'm not ready for that yet.
we'll get you there. We'll get you there. Well, sounds good. Again, appreciate you taking the time, Spencer. Best of luck, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.